Top Gear India. The world's most loved and sold vehicle category is the SUV, but owning one in India could be a pricey ordeal. Today, we've waited for some time and we've got ourselves the best fun to drive sub 10 lakh sub 4 meter SUVs. Here are your contenders. Take one look at the Renault Kiger and it reminds you of a much larger quid. You have unique elements wherein these creases on the bonnet come closer and the styling details make it look like a car designed in a racing game. The headlights, the LED DRLs, humps on the hood, C-styled rear LED lamps and roof rails, the one that will take only little weight, make this car look unique in its own way. The Tata Punch is a handsome looking car in isolation, but one look at it and looks like the love child of a Harrier with an underpinnings of the Altroz. The Tata Punch is nice and small compared to the others. It drives like a small car too, but more on that later. Notice something? The tri-arrow design is everywhere. On the grille, the horn cutouts, rear LEDs, interior dash, seats and many other areas for you to find as Easter eggs. At this point, Tata might as well give tri-arrow shaped alloys, but these look nice too. The mini Harrier-like stance looks handsome in isolation. Many who saw this car for the first time expressed that the car was smaller than their perception. Maybe that was the intent? The Nissan Magnite looks proportionally large as compared to the other two cars. The Nissan Magnite gathered the most attention of the three, and we'd see random people peeping through the glass, figuring out this car more often than one would expect. Those DRLs add a flair to the front fascia and the rear looks like a car much above its price tag. The wheels look timeless in comparison. The overall proportions, although sitting on similar platforms as the sister concern rival, gathered more attention than we anticipated. Nissan has struck a sweet chord with the Magnite, especially with the turbo CVT. Here are your contenders, sizes in numbers. Step inside the Tata Punch and you're greeted with a lot of creature comforts. First of all, there are these beautiful lines and good quality materials everywhere. The floating touch panel with all the goodies except wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay found on the other cars makes this cabin seem like a taller hatchback with height adjust available on all vehicles. Segment first, automatic everything. Auto headlamps, auto wipers, auto ORVMs and auto locks make life easier and complicated at times. The dead pedal seems like a standard across manuals nowadays. The driving seat has been adjusted to my driving style, and this is the amount of space that you get at the rear of the Tata Punch. 3 people would be a very tight fit in this space here. There's also an armrest for some creature comfort and nothing else apart from just some storage space for the rear passengers. What everyone in the car will enjoy are these Harman Kardon speakers and loads of cabin utility space. Despite its size, the Tata Punch sports a healthy 366 liters of boot space. Get inside the Nissan Magnite and the first thing you would notice is the sports car styled AC vents. Along with that, there's a nice and light precise steering wheel right up here. The driver's seat is commanding and overall dimensions make this car look promisingly large on the inside as well. The animated all-digital large console looks like it will convert into 3D with the right glasses. This car also gets a 360-degree camera at a single touch on the infotainment console. Segment first features here as well. You get more in traction control system with ESP, hill hold ability and a tire pressure monitoring system. Opt for the additional tech pack if you're getting the Magnite, as it adds a wireless charging pad, JBL speakers, air purifier and some more goodies. The switches are excellent in quality and well laid out with rotating knobs that feel tactile. Soft feel fabric adds a sense of niceness to the otherwise blacked interiors. Dual tone finishes also change the monotony of the steering wheel and those sporty AC vents. Sitting on the rear seat of the Nissan Magnite reveals that the wheelbase compared to the Punch gives you a lot of legroom. There's also added creature comforts like AC vents, 12-volt sockets. There's nice dual tone fabric finish on the front armrest along with an armrest and some cup holders. Nissan Magnite gets a boot space of 336 litres on paper, but it looks and feels almost as comparable to the larger on-paper boot space of the Kiger. Considering that these cars are based on similar platforms, Nissan has created a perfect balance of best passenger cabin space and usable boot area, almost as large as the Kiger in reality. Get inside the Renault Kiger and you'll notice a lot of similarities to the Nissan Magnite. All the AC controls, the wireless charger and the start-stop button as well are all shared with the Nissan Magnite. That said, the Renault Kiger gets its own styling. There's dual-tone finishes right here, along with an armrest with some storage area in the front, and two modes, Eco and Sports mode. This space does eat in a sense of space felt in the similar platform-based Magnite. But these are added creature comforts with added costs. Apart from matte silver element dividing the dashboard, most of the driver bin is blacked out. The steering too, in a way, looks sportier to hold. The Nissan Magnite similarities also continue on the rear. There's a similar sort of an AC vent, 12-volt socket, an armrest. What's missing here is a soft touch fabric, but loads of dual-tone silver elements bring a unique look at the shared parts. Sitting on the same wheelbase with a giant boot, the space inside the Kiger is ample but feels like a few millimeters less than the Magnite. Before we drive these cars, check out their engine and power specifications. The list is long, you might want to pause or take a screenshot for later viewing. Sitting inside the Tata Punch and driving it, you'll notice a lot of things about it. The first things that I really like are these horn controls. You don't have to reach out in the middle anymore. We're driving the more engaging manual. And what I really hate about this particular car is the way it produces power. You have to really push the engine, and once you do get a lot of noise that comes back inside the cabin. The Punch is powered by a 1.2-litre engine that churns out a mere 85 bhp and 130 Nm of power and torque figures. It feels like you're driving a small car, and that, in a way, is a compliment. Drive this car in a very simple manner and you'll notice that this car is way calmer. Everything about it, the suspensions, the steering, the way it makes you feel like you're sitting in a much plushier car than what the Tata Punch has been introduced in. One thing I did not like about the Tata Punch is the way that clutch has been designed. My feet are number 10 and I cannot keep my foot on it without bending it. Push this engine and you'll notice that the Tata Punch has a lot of capabilities. We wish there was a more powerful engine in the Tata Punch. We are pretty sure this car and the chassis can handle it. Don't get me wrong, if I could fit the Magnite engine in this car would shine even more. The Nissan Magnite 1-litre turbocharged engine is amazing. This is the same engine shared by the Renault Kiger as well, but the tune and the way it produces power is a bit different compared to the Kiger. We do not know what magic Nissan has done with this particular trim, but oh my goodness, the torque is 152 Nm. It comes as low as 2200 RPM. You know how much is that? That's right now. And if I just floor it, there's a sudden surge from the turbocharger that pushes this vehicle, and it makes you feel like the vehicle is way lighter than it actually is. Nissan has tuned this engine in such a manner where it is a perfect combination of the proportions, of the power and the feel of this vehicle. The suspension on the Nissan Magnite feels like you're listening to a tight bass response earphones compared to a boomy one. What does that mean is that you enjoy the ride a tad bit more without losing any driving dynamics. The steering on the Nissan Magnite feels exactly the same like the Renault Kiger. It's precise, it's small, it's nimble, it makes you feel like you're always in control of the car. Driving the Renault Kiger CVT, this one shares the same underpinnings, in fact the same engine with the Nissan Magnite, but has been tuned differently. What you'll find on the Renault Kiger is that it isn't as urgent or as peppy as the Nissan Magnite. One thing you'll notice in the Renault Kiger is how amazing it feels to drive. There's a good amount of balance in the chassis, there's a good amount of pep in the engine, but then again it lacks the punch that the Nissan Magnite has to offer. There's also something that we notice in the Renault Kiger, and that is how comfortable these seats are. They're plush, they're comfy, they feel much better than the other two cars. Although the Kiger may look much funkier on the outside, to the point where it looks like an elder sibling of the Kwid or a Kwid on steroids, what you really should understand is that on the inside, this car is way muted. There's black everywhere, there's just subtle chrome elements, and it makes this particular cabin feel much upmarket. The 1-liter turbocharged engine does an amazing job of pushing around the Kiger everywhere that you point your steering at. The Tata Punch has gathered a lot of hype, and a punch is only as powerful as the wrist delivering it. The wrist here is the engine, which fails to deliver against the 1-liter turbocharged engines in both of these vehicles. That said, we also have the Renault Kiger, which is feature loaded, but at the same time is the most expensive amongst the bunch here. That said, our pick of the lot is the Nissan Magnite for its larger proportions, better safety features, better creature comforts, and that bomb of a turbocharged engine. Which one would be your pick amongst the lot? And if you have any further questions, post them in the comment section below. We'll be eager to help you out. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And until next one, drive safe and wear your seatbelts.